Welcome back to Peril Pending, where today we might just be looking at the fall of Farage. Yes, this is the story that will just not go away. It won't vanish. It won't hide. Unlike Nigel Farage, who appears to have gone missing again after a dreadful week of interviews on that £5 million gift, today we are looking at an article from The Observer by Catherine Nealon, and it's titled, Clacton could be up for grabs after investigation into Farage's £5 million unconditional gift. Let's get into it. Farage has repeatedly insisted he is confident that he broke no rules, but others are less sure. In Westminster, people are limbering up for Greenberg to recommend a suspension sufficiently long that it triggers a by-election. And that's just the news we all wanted to hear, isn't it? It looks like Clacton may get a new leader. I suppose it depends on which way they vote, but we'll get into how a few of them feel at the end of this article. Other questions, whether Farage will even contest the seat. One former staffer said, the way he's talking, I think he's laying the ground for thinking it's going to go against him. And I don't think he will run. I think he will use it as an excuse for a route out. And again, this is something that I myself, and I've seen a lot of you lot predict. The only way Reform can get questions about this £5 million gift to vanish, at least the only way they think they can get this to be vanished, is for Farage himself to disappear. But what they don't understand is that Farage and Reform are pretty much one, especially when it comes to the media, especially when it comes to investigations into the party, because let's be honest, Christopher Harborne, he gave that money to Farage because he wants Reform to influence politics in his favour. If you cut off Farage, as long as he still shows as director on Company's House, it's still going to raise questions. It just means Richard Tice might have to take them up, or Robert Jenrick, or David Bull, not Dan Bull, David Bull. Got to go correct this time. They'll be the ones who have to answer the question. Reform really do think in one dimension, don't they? The article continues. All this may explain why Reform appears to be increasing its presence in Clacton. Through the window of the constituency office, which a few months ago was an empty shell without branding, Reform posters and an inviting sofa can be seen. However, no one responds when we ring the bell. It looks like, again, this is just what it looks like, and I really don't think that after you got elected there in 2024, it's now 2026, halfway through 2026. I really don't think the people at Clacton are going to be very happy that, you were missing for a year and a half and suddenly you're in hot water because it's all over the news, so now you come back. I'd hope they're not going to buy it. The seafood bar it backs on to its home to... The seafood bar it backs onto is home to Reform coffee meetings that are, theoretically, open to constituents every third Tuesday of the month. Again, they are a recent development. The staff say, hosted by councils and party officials, Farage attends off and on. And eagle-eyed residents claim the meetings are being used to discuss future campaign tactics and say they've spotted an uptick in leafleting in recent weeks. Once again, they know that this fire is at their feet, don't they? Clearly. But once again, the problem with that is that this is now reactionary. You are now increasing your presence in Clacton as a reaction to the £5 million gift because you think that this is going to result in you being found out as to have done something unlawful, which you very clearly did, or at least against the Parliamentary Standards Committee code. And so now you're like, yeah, Clacton, we're always in Clacton. You're clearly just taking the people of Clacton for mugs. And what's really curious, something that this article is about to highlight here, is that over the course of Greenberg's investigation, Reform has quietly deleted from its website documents relating to crypto assets and digital finance bills. the first piece of detailed policy work the party published. Now, does that to you, I don't know, pop it in the comments below, but to me, that looks suspicious. I don't know about you, but a party that suddenly got very interested in crypto after receiving money from a crypto billionaire, money that they say was an unconditional gift to spend on security or for Brexit or for Ferraris. After receiving that money, regardless of its use, they suddenly became real big on crypto, and now they're deleting their history. I mean, I'm going to have a look at this because I'm pretty sure the Wayback Machine should have a copy. And here's what I briefly mentioned in yesterday's episode. Farage has been criticised for his crypto advocacy in the light of the $5 million gift from Harborne, who holds a 12% stake in the cryptocurrency Tether. Remember that. That's important. As last week, Labour referred Farage to the Financial Conduct Authority after it emerged that he had lobbied the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey last September, urging him to drop plans for a central bank digital currency, that's Britcoin, and restrictions on stablecoins, which would cause problems for Tether, problems for the cryptocurrency that his paymaster has a 12% stake in. Now, once again, please, if you believe Farage or not, do drop it in the comments. They're all very engaging to read, but to me, these look like very clear strings that are attached to the £5 million that Nigel Farage got given. As usual, Reform was approached for comment, and what they had to say, it will not shock you. Yep, nothing screams innocence like not fighting for your side, I guess. Reform, honestly, you make it too easy. From the people of Clacton, they're quoted in the article. Most do not have a particularly sunny view of Westminster. One's quote is saying, "They're all liars, all corrupt," said Mitch, a 20-something local. What about Farage and his $5 million? I don't have time for politics. It doesn't really interest me. But anyone receiving that much should have declared it. Even people who aren't politically minded, the people of Clacton who aren't politically minded, even they are concerned at the very least, which is obvious. Why wouldn't you be concerned? But this isn't good for Farage. This is not good for Farage. First, Reform voters were saying it. Now, the people who voted for, Reform members were saying it. Now the actual people in Clacton are also saying it. I mean, keep coming with the good news. Anything bad for Farage is good for us. Regardless of the $5 million, some of the Farage sheen is coming off. One's quoted as saying, "This place hasn't altered since he came into power," said John, who runs a busy beachside bar which features a cardboard cutout of Jeremy Clarkson. Why that was in the article, I do not know. "He was just looking for a way in. I did vote for him in 2024, but now I'm on the fence. I've not seen him down here since the election." Well, don't worry, John, because now they've spruced up the office. You still can't get in. No one's going to answer the door if you go there, but they've spruced up the office, and apparently you can get some good leaflets as well now. His friend, also called John, who was sitting at the bar, felt similarly. "I don't agree with what he said about disabled people. There are lots of people on PIP in Clacton who need it," he said, instead of heaping praise on Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch. Questionable choice, but I'd say it's a better one than Farage. Once they've got our vote, they lose interest. "I thought he was a breath of fresh air, but he's no different to anyone else. I don't think anyone will listen until there's bloodshed," he added. Now, I mean, there's a few points to pick up on here. That's absolutely wild. I mean, that's crazy to genuinely think that Farage was a breath of fresh air. But I can't see why some people would think this. This is pretty much identical to what a lot of Republicans said about Trump, even though he was very clearly he admitted to using the system, and he was very, very rich, much like Farage. But I guess because because he smoked cigarettes and had a pint of bitter, they thought he was a breath of fresh air. I've got no idea, but at least they're seeing him for what he is now. 2 miles up the road is Jaywick, identified as the most deprived place in England since 2011, a world away from fortunes made through crypto. And this is still within the Clacton constituency. So what do they have to say about Farage and his 5 million? Alfie, an aspiring MC, and his friend hadn't heard about their MP and the donation, but once informed, they did not hold back. They're quoted as saying, "That's disgusting. How many people could use that 5 million? I grew up here and I had fuck all. Imagine how that makes me feel." We all can, Alfie. We all can. And this is a ray of hope for people who do not like hate and who do not appreciate or want to stand for the politics of hate. Reform members are suspicious of Farage. People in Clacton are suspicious of Farage. The only people that seem to be standing with him are his own MPs. And even then, as we saw with Jenrick, and even as we saw with David Bull, Dr. David Bull, who technically isn't a member, but kind of is in spirit, even they're beginning to turn because they know that if Farage is going down, that's going to drag the party. They just haven't realised yet that you can't separate the two. So it's been a laugh, but don't let the door hit you on the way out. Now, those are just my thoughts. Please leave yours in the comments below. And until next time, let's keep laughing at Farage.